Hello, my friends. Welcome. It is I, Blubobobobo. And during this holiday season, I wanted to bring you the original poem about the Yule Lads. Now, for those of you who may not know, the Yule Lads are an Icelandic tradition. There are 13 of them, and each of them come one by one to your door to bring either a rotten potato if you've been naughty, or little treats and goodies if you've been nice. Now, originally, and I choose to still believe this, the Yule Lads were trolls, and they were adopted by their giant ogress, Grilla. But here today, I bring you the original poem. The Yule Lads. Let me tell you the story of the lads of few charms, who once upon a time used to visit our farms. 13 altogether. These gents in their prime didn't want to irk people all at one time. They came from the mountains, as many of you know, in a long single file to the farmsteads below. Creeping up all stealth, they unlocked the door. The kitchen and the pantry, they came looking for more. She gave them ogre milk, and the father, the pouldy, a loathsome ilk. They hid where they could, with a cunning look or sneer, ready with their pranks when people weren't near. They were called the Yule Lads. At Yuletide they were due, and always came one by one, not ever two by two. And even when they were seen, they weren't loath to roam, and play their tricks, disturbing the peace of the home. The first of them was Sheepcoat Clod. He came stiff as wood to prey upon the farmer's sheep as far as he could. He wished to suck the ewes, but it was no accident. He couldn't. He had stiff knees, not too convenient. The second was Gully Gawk. Grey his beard and mien, he snuck into the cow barn from his craggy ravine. Hiding in the stalls, he would steal the milk, while the milkmaid gave the cowherd a meaningful smile. Stubby was the third called, a stunted man, who watched from every chance to whisk off a pan. And scurrying away with it, he scraped off the bits that stuck to the bottom and brims, his favorites. The fourth was Spoon Licker. Like spindle he was thin, he felt himself in clover when the cook wasn't in. Then stepping up, he grappled the stirring spoon with glee, holding it with both hands, for it was slippery. Pot Scraper, the fifth one, was a funny sort of chap. When the kids weren't given scrapings, he'd come to the door and tap. And they would rush to see if there really was a guest. Then he hurried to the pot and had a scraping fest. Bowl Licker, the sixth one, was shockingly ill-bred. From underneath the bedsteads he stuck his ugly head, and when the bowls were left to be licked by the dog or cat, he snatched them for himself. He was sure good at that. The seventh was Door Slammer, a sorry, vulgar chap. When people in the twilight would take a little nap, he was happy as a lark with the havoc he could wreak, slamming doors and hearing the hinges on them squeak. Scree Gobbler, the eighth, was an awful, stupid bloke. He lambasted the skier tub till the lid on it broke. Then he stood there, gobbling, his greed was well known, until about to burst, he would bleat, howl, and groan. The ninth was Sausage Swiper, a shifty pilfer. He climbed to the top of the rafters and raided food from there. Sitting on a crossbeam in soot and in smoke, he fed himself on sausage fit for gentlefolk. The 10th was Window Peeper, a weird little twit, who stepped up to the window and stole a peek through it. And whatever was inside to which his eye was drawn, he most likely attempted to take later on. 11th was Door Sniffer, a doltish lad and gross. He never got a cold, yet had a huge, sensitive nose. He caught the scent of lace, bred while leagues away, still and ran toward it weightless, as wind over dale and hill. Meat Hook, the 12th one, his talent would display, as soon as he arrived on St. Thorlak's day. He snagged himself a morsel of meat of any sort, although his hook at times was a tiny bit short. The 13th was Candlebecker. 'Twas cold, I believe, if he was not the last of the lot on Christmas Eve. He trailed after the little ones who, like happy sprites, ran about the farm with their fine tallow lights. On Christmas night itself, so a wise man writes, the lads were all restraint and just stared at the lights. Then one by one they trotted off into the frost and snow. On 12th night the last of the lads used to go. Their footprints in the highlands are effaced now for long. The memories have all turned to image and song. Thank you for joining me, my friends. I hope you enjoyed this tale, and I look forward to seeing you soon once again in my nook. Happy holidays, my friends.